Hi, welcome to the next edition of Watching the Pioneer Meta. And man, today we have some pretty interesting stuff to talk about. One deck I kind of want to play this coming week, as well as some other decks that once I get the wild cards, I probably want to try them as well. And plus, of course, we're looking at the new Pioneer Meta. We're going to talk about if it's good, all that kind of stuff, and let's dive straight into it. So as you can see, the Rogue, the first indicator to know if a format is kind of healthy, Rogue is above 6%, right? Because there's not a lot of Rogue decks. That means there is a lot of decks suppressing Rogue decks. And so that immediately is a green check mark for Pioneer. There's 39 Rogue decks, not too shabby. Devotion has been seeing a lot more play recently with the new addition of the Mole. So that's pretty decent, which allows your lands to tap for double if they're also a creature. And Fang has been on the dip a little bit here for Phoenix, Demons, and Gruul Prowess showing up the most right now. So Gruul Prowess is kind of replacing Red right now since they lost the mouse. And of course, Azorius Control dipping down a little bit, but not really that much of a change. Like I said, green is on the increase. I see a decent amount of Scape Shift in the dumps, so it's still around. So you do need to keep in mind. You need to prepare for that. Lotus Field, Kavo, Camera Time has been getting some positive results recently. And we have Demir Rogues. Nice to see that deck, I guess, sort of return. But overall, there's not a lot here. Is it Helix? Interesting. Interesting name. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff going on in Pioneer. I think a lot of it is under this Rogue category, which is about 7%. So that's even higher than basically standard. But let's dive straight into those decks. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit again. This is a 4-color Ascendancy. So this deck does play the new Cub. I guess it's a Badger, not a Mole. My bad. I'm so sorry about that. Actually, I think it's both. So I guess I'm technically partially correct. We have Consider Opt, all the cantrips. The new Basics card, pretty good lesson here, which allows you to return a non-land permanent to its owner hand. And if it was yours, you get to draw a card. You play the new Earthbender, which basically whenever you cast a spell, you get to Earthbend, which makes your lands turn into creatures, which allows them to untap with Ascendancy to potentially win the game. And then we have additional removal for aggro. We have a little bit of lessons in the board because we play Divide by Zero, which makes a lot of sense because it allows you to tutor up the lesson here. The grab a land, redirecting a spell, additional removal. This is artifact and enchantment hate. So there's definitely a lot of options here you can get with Divide by Zero. We also play Ral for, control and mid-range. We have a little bit more lessons. This one here, I believe, returns a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So if they enter your Ascendancy, you can get this card, get it back for your hand, recast it. Dispute for control. So overall, we have a decent amount of lessons here. Plus, like I said, a little bit of removal for aggro if you're expecting that kind of deck in your format. And control hate and, mid-range hate. But let's get into the next deck. So recently I played a deck that's built around, of course, the Battle Crier combo. Now, it finally got a good result in Pioneer with Roaming Stone, the World Wagon, which basically ramps when it ETBs, Battle Crier, Trailblazer, so we can draw a bunch of cards when we play a creature with 4 or more power. We have this 2-drop, uncommon at the 5/5, so it comes down for 2. It's almost kind of always free, so that's a little interesting. Serpent potentially is a free, XX, which allows you to draw cards. We're playing a couple of Riddlers because it's just a really strong card. Fire Magic for aggro, Regent to bounce anything. Spell Pierce for mid-range, so it has a lot of target removal. Scrap Shooter for artifact enchantment hate, graveyard hate, aggro hate. And that is Battle Crier combo for Pioneer. Pretty good stuff here. I'm kind of actually interested to try this list, especially if Prototype is on Arena. So we'll try it out maybe. So next we have this Is It Prowess deck that's playing this Despair. Or Dispute, I should say. It has Lesson. It has Learn, so you can get the bounce lesson, the removal lesson, the protection, which makes a lot of sense. So you kind of can play like the heroic game with this card, which allows you to grab, like I said, a lesson that allows you protect your Swift Spear or your Show Off and give it hexproof. You could redirect spells, counter spells, and stuff like that. We have additional removal for red-based strategies. Anti-Phoenix cards. We are a cutter deck with a sub-theme of, the Mice, Swifty, and Show Off, so Prowess style effects. And that's kind of the deck. It's not too shabby. Kind of interesting. I don't know how good Dispute will be in the long term. We'll see how this deck, if it can hold on and potentially become a meta deck. We'll see. But we got 3 more decks to talk about. We're halfway through this video. So next is this Azorius mid-range pile. Kind of playing a little bit of the new Enog, Riddlers, with a little bit of Flux, which allows you just to blink your Riddler, so you can pay 3 mana and get a 4/6 flyer, draw 2. Pretty good stuff there. The new Airbender Ascension, pretty good card. I played it in draft. It seems like it has a lot of promise, which allows you to flicker your basically any of your cards, even your Mockingbird. I guess Mockingbird's probably the worst one to flicker, because you could only copy your 1-drops in that situation. Actually, I don't even think you could do that. You have a Starfield Shepherd, some Spellbinders to tax out your opponent's cards in hand, Invasion to disrupt your opponent's hand, Portable Hole for aggro, additional aggro hate. We have a card that allows us to just cast stuff on top of our library. If it has Flash, I believe, or Flying. Graveyard hate, basic hate, that's basically like a O-ring with additional upside. Dispute for control. Spellbinder for combo, basically. And a way to shut off artifacts and creatures and enchantments abilities. You have the Conqueror here. Pretty good addition as well. So this is also a deck I could try for a video. Or a live stream. I need to get more Anogs, I think. I have the Ascensions. But we'll see if I can get this deck put together. We'll see. Let me know in the comment section which one of these decks you would like to see me play, and I will definitely try to play it. Let's get to the next list. So next is like this Bant, Aven Interrupter, Spell Queller, Savior. We're not really playing. We're playing Beza down here. We're playing the Flicker effect, so we can blink, or Interrupter, Spell Queller, stuff like that. Our Overlords and our Riddlers. Everything we're trying to do, basically, we just cheat it down early. Use Airbender Ascension. Get it online. Flicker them from being just an impending, enchantment into an actual threat. And we have up the Beanstalk. Pretty good stuff there, so we can cast stuff for cheap. Draw additional cards. Kind of think this deck actually is pretty decent. Again, I really need to get this card, I believe, and then I should be able to play this deck. Sideboard, we have Dovin's Veto. Additional aggro hate with Rips. Rest in Peace for graveyard hate. Small artifact and then creature hate. Apparition. I'm not sure. There's not really anything that's like glaring that you're looking to exile with that. It's just a generically good card that's good that you could blink with Ascension. So I guess that's the main reason to play it, is you just exile something. They get a They play a 2-drop. They get a 2 back. Additional Planeswalker hate. Artifact, a creature hate, base exile hate. Beza for aggro. Of course, we are Yorion deck. Since most of our stuff have good ETB triggers, we should be able to just flicker them and get more value. But last but not least is a deck that I'm probably going to try as well. I played mono red Ponza. Now there is this sweet Boros version, which plays the Paragon to get back to fields and kind of loop those. We have the Hellkites plus Buzz Crusher and the Freedom and the Wildfires. Nice ways of removing lands from opponents. Thing, we have Hollow Moonlight to stop Phoenixes from coming back, stuff like that. Portable Hole for aggro, Rip also for aggro. Then we have this way of showing basically any non-land permanent. And it's pretty decent. They get a lander token, which allows them to get all their basics out of their deck, which is kind of relevant. Because then you just Price of Freedom or Wildfire it. Iceberg down here, pretty decent rare. Like I said, it's kind of Oblivion Ring with upside. High Noon to stop decks like Phoenix, Lotus Field, decks that cast a lot of spells in a given turn. Flanker to stop basically Graveyard Heat, plus could do a little bit of scrying, gain life. Beza for aggro. Aurelia, interesting include here as a spicy backup win con. But overall, this deck does feel pretty dang sweet. I kind of want to try this deck. I want to try this deck the most on stream. I'll have to see what cards I'm missing from this deck. But there's definitely quite a bit of these decks I wouldn't mind trying just to see how they do. Actually, all of these decks. That's kind of why I'm talking about them all. This deck is probably going to be very easy for me to put together. So expect this one probably this week on stream tomorrow. So if you're interested in watching me play Pioneer live, go check it out on Twitch every single Tuesday night at about 9:30 Central Time. And I stream Pioneer every single week. Go check it out. And until next time, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Talk to you next time.